Hello. Today I'd like to talk to you about something a little bit different. This is part of my pen review series, and this actually goes along perfectly with my principle of first do no harm. What I'd like to talk to you today about is when I get a pen, what do I do? What do I look at? So let's take a look at it. So I bought this. It's a Monte Rosa. I'll tell you exactly why I bought it and why I'm using my two pen holder here. I have another Monte Rosa, which is in wonderful shape. Bought it from Proto Pens a few years ago. Unfortunately, and I didn't realize this till long after the warranty ran out, this collar bit is cracked on one side. Now I have thought about doing some repair on it, put in some glue and whatever. But I thought, if I could find a cheap enough pen and just replace the part, here we go. So this is also a Monte Rosa. A little bit different. I didn't really notice the differences so much until it actually arrived. This is, I think, older. It's not circular, which is fine. It's actually an interesting shape. But looking at the nib and feed in the picture anyway, it looked a lot the same. Not exactly, but similar enough that I thought maybe, in fact, it definitely is showing signs of it. Maybe I could just steal the nib collar out of this pen. And so I did look at that. If I can steal the nib collar out, I don't know how, because I can't unscrew it. Which is fine, because the longer I've had this pen, the more I've thought, it may have been a cheap bugger, but it sure looks like it has some potential. Can you see that? This other one here has the same potential. So I thought, I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm actually going to try and make this one work. Now, that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't looked at it further, but if you look at the cap here, it has some gouges. Maybe a Steph from Grand Mia Pens could fix that. Some of the plating is worn off. These were student pens, another gouge. And most disturbing, some cracks. I haven't quite figured out how to deal with the cracks, but I figure any repair to this pen isn't going to make it worse. And there's some corrosion here that I may see if I can deal with. The nib itself looks pretty good. Having had it out already, I may have misaligned it a little. It looks like the piston works. I can see it there. Oops, it's not in focus. I can see it there in the ink window. The finish is a little scuffed, but who cares? That's not how I roll. So one of the big questions I always have, does it draw water? Because if it draws water, then it can draw ink. So it's bubbling, and as a bonus, there is a little bit coming out of it, a little bit of ink. Surprise, surprise, I just did a video about pen clean. Oh my, yes! So we've got some ink in this pen that was left in this pen. But you know what? It's holding ink. Or water. So that means if it's holding water, it can hold ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this for a while till it seems to be clear. And then I'm going to leave it to soak overnight in a water bath. And then I'll pick up this video where I've left off here and tell you what happens next. Because I don't know how this video is going to end yet. This may yet turn out to be a piece of garbage, and I hate it. But we'll see. So we'll talk to you later. Well, here it is. I did some work on it. I did a lot of soaking and everything. I was looking at it. I can see some work that needs to be done yet. Now here we have some corrosion on this trim ring. Here's the trouble. If I sand this down, let's say. This is gold plating. So it's not going to come off gold. It's going to come off some kind of combination of gold and silver. And you need to be okay with that. You know, the rest of the pen, I think I cleaned the ink out pretty well. I could screw the piston back. I like the multi-sided feature. One thing I don't like, I'll need to deal with if this pen becomes a thing, the cracks in the cap. I don't know how to deal with those yet. My skill set isn't there yet. But I think I've got a decent pen just for writing. So I'm going to play with it just as it is. You know, some kind of abrasive, like I said, would deal with the corrosion here on the trim ring, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to try something different with my videos for the next few times. I'm just going to use the same ink. So I'm using Parker Quink washable blue. You know, the reason I'm using that ink is selfishness. It's an easy ink to clean out. Very friendly ink. Okay, we're getting lots of bubbles. Fill. A few bubbles. Fill. Few bubbles, fill. So let's wipe it off. And let's see how it does. And I really wanted to put Lamy turquoise in it, but I said to myself, nope, this isn't the time. Okay, so I made a lot of hash out of the name of the pen. It's a Montblanc Monte Rosa. It's got multi-sides, I guess 6 sides. The ink in it is Parker washable blue. Apparently the ink does railroad a bit when I spread it. As far as flex, it flexes, but you know, there is a little bit of that spread when it, you know, opens up. As far as the smear test, yep, that's a wet pen. And wetness and flow. I think it does pretty well. And finally, the reverse rating. Kind of scratchy, but it does work. And finally, the world famous Pierre Gustafson test. Look at that. Failure! So, not a great Pierre Gustafson pen. I don't think I've ever had one fail that badly. And this pen actually writes really well, so that was pathetic. But, I gotta live with it. It is what it is. And kind of a comfortable writer. Well, that was disappointing. What can I say? Okay, here's what I can say. I filmed this video over the course of several weeks. Luckily, I have an organized file system on my computer, so I can keep all these in the right folder. Definitely failed the Pierre Gustafson test in, like, oh my god, kind of the worst way possible. I don't usually have pens fail it that badly. But it's been about 2 weeks, I guess, since I filmed that writing sample. And I'm finally getting around to filming this part because thanks to things going on with heat, I've been doing kind of weird settings for a lot of my videos. But anyway, I've been writing with it since steadily. It miraculously doesn't seem to empty out. I still haven't seen the ink windows. But anyway, I've been writing with that same Parker Quink washable blue. And I'll tell you what, I'm quite thrilled with it. Yeah, you can't Pierre Gustafson with this pen at all. But it writes well. Yes, it has cracks in the cap, and one of these days I need to figure out how to deal with them. And no, it's never going to win some beauty contests. But dang if that thing doesn't write well. And isn't that what a pen is all about? I want a pen that writes. And it's kind of fun with the flex on it and everything. Hardly any railroads or anything with just regular writing. Yeah, I suppose if I try to do rapid writing or, fancy calligraphy, I might have some, but I am thrilled with it. So, yeah, I am sad that my other Monte Rosa doesn't have a nib collar the way I'd hoped. But, for the pittance I paid for this pen, holy cow, I got a good writer. So, I'm happy. I think it was a win. And I'm still waiting on that nib collar for the other Monte Rosa, so I'll keep my eyes open for parts. So, one test I always like to do. Got caught there for a second, the slats in my desk. I'm not wearing a pocket in this shirt, but it does seem to pass the pocket test. So, pretty happy with it. So, well, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.